is a wonderful pianist in addition to being a wonderful congregant. And she is going to play The Spruce by Jan Sibelius. And after that, To the Spring by Edvard Grieg. Marilyn, I'm not sure if To the Spring is like to the brook or if you're
No,
thinking
it's to the season.
wistfully about spring.
About spring, yes. But it's spring, but with winter behind us coming back, a back and forth. So
Hmm.
you'll hear that.
Not a black and white.
Not black. It's not black and white. No.
And without further ado, Marilyn Reichstein. Marilyn, that was beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Just truly, truly lovely. And a lovely, lovely way to come into Shabbat. It really is. We're so we're so glad to have you here and have this blessing, a way to come into Shabbat. Very,
Well,
very
thank you, and
beautiful.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Um, well, I don't know, Rabbi. Shall we?
We're going to wait a couple seconds to get started.
Mhm.
So think pleasant Shabbat thoughts to yourself.
We will do that. All right. Let's think pleasant Shabbat thoughts.
You have to fill in the time.
I don't know. If you have something else, you could play that too.
Well, um, not really prepared.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna meditate. We'll be in the zone.
Um,
Ya la 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 ine mato. Ya la 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 human lai. Ya la 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 shavet achim. Shavet achim gam yachad. Ya la la ya la 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 ine mato. Ya la 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 human lai. Ya la 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 shavet achim. Shavet achim gam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 la, Hine Matov. Ya la 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 la, human lai. Ya la 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 la, shavet achim. Shavet achim gam yachad. Ya la la, ya la 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 la, hine matov. Ya la 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 la, human lai. Ya la 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 la, shavet achim. Shavet achim gam yachad. Yai lai lai. Hine matov. How beautiful, how good, how pleasant is it for all of us to be together on this Shabbat with our interfaith brothers and sisters to celebrate this moment together.
Shabbat Shalom. First Presbyterian Church of Forest Hills is our neighbors. We've stood across the street for decades. In this pandemic world, though, with both our sanctuaries closed, being neighbors must take an extra effort. Tonight, we celebrate our partnership with First Presbyterian as religious communities trying to make a difference. We both insist that it is our obligation to speak up for others in this complicated world. I'm delighted that we are sharing our third Interfaith Shabbat together. While we observe the Sabbath on different days, our congregations know that this is a time of holiness and hope, of community, and supporting our neighbors. And so we welcome Pastor Jeff and everyone from First Presbyterian. And we welcome all of you, whether here on the Zoom call or joining us on YouTube, whether here in Queens or wherever you may be. We're glad that we're together as one community of friends and neighbors. As we join together tonight and Sunday morning in our Interfaith Shabbat, we also celebrate with Joseph Kubenjet as he becomes bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. We invite Joseph, his brother Jeremy, and his parents Belle and Bryce to lead us in our candle blessing for Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen.
And now Joseph is going to help lead us in the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הננו. זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנהלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
L'chaim. Mazel tov to Joseph and his family as he becomes bar mitzvah. We'll see Joseph in a little bit again. Well, now it's time to meet our neighbors, people we may know well, people we may just be meeting for the first time, as we're going to be dividing up into breakout rooms and getting a chance to say hello to a few people together. So in just a minute, whenever we're ready, we'll head off into those breakout rooms. Well, we hope you had a chance to make a new friend or say hello to one you haven't seen in a while and connect with each other as we celebrate our community. And we sing a new song unto God, Shir Chadash.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru, shiru Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, all the earth, sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We turn to the Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. And to help lead us in the Via Hafta, we invite our bar mitzvah, Joseph Kubenjet. Make sure to unmute yourself.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להוט על ידיך, והיו נצוצות בין עיניך, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לעיניכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
I Elohechem Emet.
Thank you, Joseph, and Mazel Tov on your bar mitzvah for you and your whole family. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
Our next prayer, the Hashkivenu, will be led by our junior choir. And actually, Sue, we're not going to share for this prayer. All of our junior choir can unmute themselves to sing when it's their turn.
And so that means that you will all unmute yourselves now and make sure that everybody around you is really, really quiet. Okay, take it away, Sloan.
Shalom. V'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guide us from the harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
They muted us for some reason.
Why don't we pick up from Aaron's part again? Aaron, go ahead and do your part again.
Loud. Go.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Beautiful job, junior choir. That was just lovely, everybody. Thank you all so much. It was lovely.
We continue with the Tefillah, and we please rise for these prayers.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגים אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומדיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And on the page 172, make it fine. You are holy, your name is holy. And those who are holy praise your name every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We read together on page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul or light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Songs of peace are never needed more than right now. A country that is in turmoil and arguing with each other and itself, a world in pain, needing peace and wholeness. Shalom means wholeness, and that's what we need and we seek right now. Shalom Rav, abundant wholeness.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. V'tov beilecha livarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam.
We take time for our own private prayers in peace. Thank you to Bonnie McAlvin for playing that beautiful melody to take us from our Sabbath, our silent prayers into the rest of our Shabbat. With those peaceful notes still ringing in our ears, we turn now to a prayer of healing and hope for all those who are sick or ill. If there's someone in your family life who needs our healing, our hope, your actions, your heart, our prayers, please put their name into the chat right now so we all can see who needs to be on our mind and who is in our hearts. Let's take a moment to add some names into the chat.
Mi shebeirach avotenu mekor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor haberacha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Never before have our prayers for healing been more needed in our world than a world that is sick and getting sicker. But our prayers won't do it. It's our actions, how we individually do things to help keep this virus from going person to person and coming to us, and how our leadership helps make sure that happens. And so we keep striving for actions that each of us and all of us can do to help stop COVID where it is and save literally millions of lives. In our temple family, we're especially thinking of for healing Rabbi Meir Perlmutter, Elaine Wall, Helen Schloss, Rochelle Weinberg, Ronnie Heller, Jamie Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Hans Alexander, Sadie Rosenkrantz, Elise Leibowitz, Roberta Traeger, Hazel Cohen, Jody Ann Herman, Donald Levy, Doris Axelrod, Molly Neal, Dr. Mark Burton, Adam and Michelle Davidowitz, Laura Kowalski, Liza Berlent, to add to the names of so many that fill our chat and fill our hearts. Amen. Reverend Jeffrey Corder, or Pastor Jeff as he is often called, joined Forest Hills Presbyterian Church as the interim pastor this past February, just 6 weeks before they closed for COVID-19. His previous church was in central New York, where there were more dairy cows than people. The contrast couldn't have been more stark, but before that, he was the pastor in Westernville, New York. Before he was in Westernville, New York, he and his family lived in Chicago. So big cities are not frightful or bothersome. In fact, his 3 grown children and daughter-in-law have moved to New York City soon after Jeff and his wife, Shelley, came here. Pastor Jeff is very enthused to be in New York City with a very, very diverse congregation. There's someone who is a member of their church from every continent except Antarctica. Like much of Queens, they find unity in diversity. And Jeff is thrilled to continue the interfaith dialogue and work which Forest Hills Presbyterian Church has embraced. It is my pleasure to invite Pastor Jeff Corder to share words tonight with us.
Thank you, Rabbi Mark. It's my honor and privilege and pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, all of you, for welcoming me into your homes this Shabbat, and Shabbat Shalom to you. In our scriptures, we call each other brothers and sisters, and that's a term that I use for you as well, because in faith we are family. And as the Hebrew scriptures also say, we are kin to one another. And so I welcome you as you welcome me, and I thank you. I want to say a brief prayer before I give my message. Please pray with me. Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable and pleasing to your sight, O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. May our words build bridges to you and one another now. Amen. I have been asked to speak about serving God and country because this last Wednesday was Veterans Day. And so if any of you here are a veteran, or your father or brother or mother or sister or children or aunts or uncles are veterans, please put their name in the chat so we can honor them and give thanks to them. And I want to say thank you to all the veterans that are out there. I myself am a veteran. I'm wearing this fancy American Legion tie because I've been a member of the American Legion. And so I want to speak a little bit about that. My son and I, my son is a veteran as well. He just got out and he's now home with us. We went to Chili's for dinner. They gave us a free meal because Veterans Day, and it was a nice little thing. And so as veterans, you get these little 10% off, 20% off, what have you. But originally, Veterans Day didn't start as a happy day. There was joy, but it was joy because the war was over. The war to end all wars, World War I, ended with what was called Armistice Day, November 11th. After World War II started, they couldn't call it the war to end all wars anymore, and they started calling it Veterans Day instead of Armistice Day. So we do remember those who serve on this day. It's interesting, I found out there's about 17 and 18 million veterans in America. That's double the population, I believe, of Jewish Americans. It's 8 to 10 times the number of Presbyterian Americans. And so there's a lot more veterans than we realize out there, which was a bit surprising to me. But there's a relationship between faith and country, which is complicated. My son served in the Marine Corps, and one of the most decorated generals in the Marine Corps was General Smedley Butler. When he retired from the Marine Corps a short time afterward, he wrote a book called War is a Racket. He was joined by other former officers, notably President Dwight Eisenhower, who on his way out referred to the military-industrial complex. And no less a soldier than General Douglas MacArthur said, "It is the soldier who above all else prays for peace." So in our Christian scriptures, there's a letter from the Apostle Peter, and it instructs us as follows. It says, "Submit yourselves to all authority, to the king, to governors who punish wrong." The Apostle Paul, in his letter to the church in Rome, said that authorities are established by God, and they do not bear the sword in vain because they are God's agent to punish the wrongdoer. Ironically, perhaps, both Peter and Paul, according to the legends of the church, were killed for their faith by the very Rome they said to obey. Nonetheless, the early Christian church was almost entirely pacifist. In the Gospels, where Jesus says, "Turn the other cheek," they took that quite literally, and they did not advocate any form of self-defense at all, despite a couple hundred years of persecution. It got to the point where the very word martyr, a Greek term meaning witness, changed its meaning because so many died as witnesses for their faith. It wasn't until Emperor Constantine in the Christian era 313 who made the Christian religion official, and then 10 years later made it the state religion of Rome, that things changed. Shortly after that, by 380, the emperor was persecuting anybody the church declared a heretic. And so the union of church and state became complete. This led to the point where, by the Crusades, the Pope ordered Christian knights to go fight in the name of Christ. Thereby, the profession of arms meant serving God. And there are people even today who conflate these two, but I think that's bad theology, and I think it's false, because there are times clearly that serving the military may not be serving God. And there are still Christian pacifists out there, and I think their cause is good. These are often smaller Christian groups like the Mennonites or the Friends, or what we know as Quakers, who advocate for pacifism in all cases. And they do have strong roots in the Christian scriptures for saying that. But pacifism has its limits. There's a group of students, little known in history, that were in Nazi Germany, who formed a nonviolent resistance against Adolf Hitler. And the reason that we don't hear about them is because they were exterminated. The White Rose movement was a student revolt that was short-lived and crushed. And so this and similar things led the Lutheran pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer to write this: "We are not to simply bandage the wounds of victims beneath the wheels of injustice. We are to drive a spoke into the wheel itself. Sometimes resistance to oppression must take up arms for the sake of the oppressed." I think if God is on the side of the marginalized, and I believe God is, then the marginalized are allowed to defend themselves. It is no small irony that the Buddhist monks who advocate pacifism also created the martial arts that we know them by. On the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," sometimes making peace involves coercion, forcing wrongdoers to stop doing harm. This is where our people with weapons actually are acting somewhat like human antibodies, preventing infections from killing us, from spreading. I spent a year in Afghanistan, and when I was there, I was in a couple of fights with the Taliban. I got to speak to Afghan villagers quite a bit, and I found out that the Taliban would come into their villages of poor people at night and terrorize them. They would not merely demand loyalty and obedience, but they would take their money, take their food. They were more like the mafia than revolutionaries. And so I felt very strongly while I was there that we actually were fighting for those who were oppressed. So I think it comes down to a question of motives. Who are we serving? How do we know that our motives are right when we do? We can ask, who stands to benefit? Are we serving self, or are we serving others? And I believe that a just cause seeks the common good. And so it's right for us to recognize those who have served, especially those who have served and died, upholding a higher cause. In that same letter from Peter, it says this: "Live as free men, but do not use your freedom for evil. Live as servants of God." This tells us two things. First of all, the cause of freedom is just. But freedom is not equal to selfishness. No, true freedom is found in serving God. In our faith, the great commandment was where Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and might, and love your neighbor as yourself. And so there are times that we love our neighbors through the force of arms, defending them as needed against those who would deny them their freedom. And when we serve our neighbors in this way, then and only then can we claim to be serving God. And those who have done so deserve our respect, our praise, and our thanks. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jeff. I have to say about Pastor Jeff, he's only been in town for a little bit, and almost all of it's been in the COVID era, but he had immediately an impact in our community with his, not just with his church, but with our synagogue, and making a difference in Forest Hills and beyond. And it's been a personal pleasure to get to know him and a little bit of his family. I haven't gotten to know, I'm excited to meet all of them now that they're here, but to really see. So I can't wait when COVID is over. If this is what he does during a pandemic, I'm wondering what he's going to be able to do when he's out and about in the world and making a difference. So I think I have the last word because you muted yourself. So there you go. So I'll unmute you.
Thank you, Mark. I look forward to that day where we won't be wearing masks and being worshiping by Zoom all the time. Thank you.
Thank you. In our chat, we were filled with the names of veterans from those here in our sanctuary, like in our virtual sanctuary, like Michael Rosenberg and Nir Fisher, and to those from our own families, both of blessed memory and still with us, thankfully, today. And so we share these blessings for all of those who served our country and helped as well support the land of Israel. We share this prayer. Compassionate God, source of mercy, we pay tribute to those who have served our country, to express our gratitude for their courage and selflessness, both those among us today and those of generations past. This nation, built by those born of the soil and those who have come here from all the corners of the earth, is on a continual journey towards its destiny. May we never let down those who have served in defense of this country and the state of Israel. May we uphold the values of freedom, of the inherent dignity of every human being, by our own right conduct, by the kindness and tolerance we show to one another. May we lead the world by example and become, in the words of Isaiah, a light to the nations. Then will the labors and sacrifices of these veterans be honored, not in words alone, but by our deeds. Amen.
Amen. When the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We always need to find the joys in our life and in the world. Because there are blessings, there are good things that have happened to us. And so we share those with each other to draw strength from each other. If there's a simcha that's happened to you or your family in recent days or in days ahead, please put it into the chat for all of us to see so we can know what good things are happening around us and with each other. Mazel tov to the Fishers on their new nephew, Bruce and Laura, on their anniversary, birthdays, engagements. Taking advantage of being able to do things outside and with each other, doing well in school. Being around family, near and far, and folding into the strengths of them. So many beautiful things that we share with each other. So many things we strive for and have to make. In the coming months, it may be a little difficult again as it was back in April and May, but we know how to do this. We know how to get through. We know how to connect with each other. And think all of you are good at Zoom now. So that's one less thing you have to learn how to do no matter what. So as we share these beautiful blessings with each other and in our lives, we turn to the concluding blessings of our service, beginning with the Aleinu. We invite everyone to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We reflect on those we love. Earlier, we shared names of people who are veterans in our country or in Israel, some of those who have passed on, and we brought their names to light and life, remembering them, giving them voice, giving them presence. As we shared with our veterans, we share with all those we love and miss. As we share a temple's name of yahrzeits and recent losses, we invite you to put in the chat the names of people you're thinking about, whether yahrzeits or a recent loss, or someone who's just on your mind right now and you want to remember their blessings. This week marks the yahrzeit of Harry B. Berman, Sally Burns, Max Cantor, Ben Cohen, Esther Kosminski, Sarah Kotel, Bernard Deichmann, Sarah M. Epstein, Mindy Erdman, Herbert Feilman, Naomi Finkelstein, Aloysius Fischel, Sanford Friedman, Evelyn Geller, Max Goldstein, Saul Gruber, Erna Gruenbaum, Kurt Gruenbaum, Richard Gruenbaum, Pearl Hack, Lena Itzkowitz, Leonard Jacobs, Morris Jakovsky, Albert Jones, Jack Kahan, Annette Kay, Jack M. Klein, Frymet Coopersmid, Sidney Leibowitz, Sophie Lieberman, Evelyn Littman, Jack Lovins, Robert Marcus, Thelma Mayer, Katie Mai, Paul Mendelson, Rosa Middle, Laura Mogitz, Lillian Newman, Charles Osias, Irving Rappaport, Sandra Ruth Reisenberg, Hyman Rubin, Jules E. Sachs, Marjorie Sears, Esther Sezin, Dora Manis Shapiro, Ida Shore, Harry Skloot, Marvin Solomon, Louis Swerdling, William Weinberg, Anna Wolf, Rose Zuckerman, Miriam Zunder. In sadness, the recent passing of Eli Botkin, friend of Mickey Joseph, and the passing a few weeks ago of Barry Nathanson, father of Laurie Kaufman, and all those who we name in our hearts, and we share the names out loud. As we share these names that are in our own congregation, as we think of all of those who have died from COVID-19 and all of those we try to save, we recognize that this week was not only Veterans Day, but earlier this week we commemorated Kristallnacht, the night of the broken glass that is understood to be the beginning of the formal actions by the Nazis openly and publicly against the Jewish people. And so we remember the 6 million. We remember all the millions killed as innocents in World War II. And with this Veterans Day, we remember the 70 million across the world killed in World War II. But as we think of the Jewish people and their losses, we share this prayer. My tears are crystal and broken glass. They sparkle, they cut. They heal, they wound. They are daybreak and midnight, hymn and dirge, joyous celebration and lonely mourning. My tears catch your divine light, prisms casting colors across my days and on my hands. I pray to hold them gently, with dignity, with honor. I am one of your children, one of those you love, comforted knowing that I too am one for whom you cry. Tears of crystal, tears of broken glass.
Ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin. Buna shlema, buna shlema, Beviat HaMashiach animani, ve'af al pi shayitmamea, im kol ze ani mamin, ve'af al pi shayitmamea, im kol ze ani mamin.
So many people in our hearts, our family and friends, people across this country and across the world dying of disease, those from the Holocaust commemorated this week, and the veterans who saved so many lives and brought freedom to the world. It's a heavy burden for all of us to bear in memory and love, and yet we do. And so we invite you as we share the Mourner's Kaddish. If you wish to unmute yourself and join in saying it with us together, please do so, and we all rise.
All right.
Yifgadal,
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart of us. And let us say, Amen.
Shalom. Alleluia kol Yisrael ve'immeru. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Now with some announcements and reminders for our congregation, our temple president, Neil Rosenblatt.
Good evening, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, as always, to Rabbi Kaisman and Cantor Pincus, Al and Alvin Fay, and the RTFH tech team for their work behind the scenes and in leading services tonight and every Friday night. Thanks to our friend Marilyn Reichstein for helping set the tone for services tonight with her magnificent musings on the piano, and to our resident flautist, Bonnie McElvin, for making our services that much more special. A massive thank you to all of our veterans for their service to our country and for helping provide the blanket of freedom under which we all sleep. A hearty mazel tov to Joseph on becoming a bar mitzvah tomorrow, and a big mazel tov to Bryce and Belle and his brother Jeremy. We look forward to joining you tomorrow morning at services. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a good shout out to our teen choir. Fantastic job tonight, and thank you for sharing your musical gifts with us. Thanks very much to Pastor Jeff Courter and our friends from the Forest Hills Presbyterian Church for joining us this evening. Your sermon tonight was poignant and a reminder of how similar the core beliefs of our respective religions are. We look forward to joining you on Sunday morning. The generosity of our temple community continues to amaze me. This week, we surpassed last year's record-setting total for our Kol Nidre campaign, and it's still going. Check out the weekly e-blast for details on how you can donate. Hanukkah is coming, and can you believe it? If you haven't already done so, please get ready to join us for a whole lot of fun. On Sunday, December 6th, there'll be a slew of Hanukkah programming, cooking, singing, dancing, teaching, and learning. Make sure to check the weekly e-blast as we get closer for the full slate of activities. And then on Friday, December 11th, we'll be hosting our annual Hanukkah dinner. We'll do it virtually this year. We've partnered with Ben's of Bayside to arrange for a festive dinner at 6, followed by services at 7. Again, check the e-blast for registration details. It's been some weeks since last we met. Stacy L. and I were in Central Park last Saturday, and the energy and excitement of the throngs of people echoed the sound of hope and change. I turn to the lyrics of the incomparable Bob Dylan to close things out. Come senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway or block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside is a raging. We'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times, they are a-changing. Those words were true when they first published in 1964, and they are just as true today. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. If, by the way, you have comments or thoughts about Neil's mustache, you should send them to president@rtfh.org. He's soliciting public opinion. We were so delighted to have Pastor Jeff with us this evening and members of First Presbyterian joining us as well. On Sunday, we invite RTFH to go to First Presbyterian over the internet. It was in today's and Wednesday's e-blast, and it's also on the Facebook page. The link, it's not this link because it's not our service, the link to go to at 11 a.m. on Sunday to join First Presbyterian services that day. We hope you'll join Cantor, Pincus, and myself as we participate and the honor of being part of that service. Well, we want to get ready for the onegs that are in each of our homes, and to do so, we need some challah. So if you have a challah, go get it, and we'll try and hold up as many challahs as we can see on the screen. It's not always easy for us to find them, so make sure to hold it up big and so everyone can see it, so we can find all the challahs. All right. Maybe move it around a little bit if you have it. Oh, there we go. Well, that's good. We got, oh, what happened to? All right, well, we'll stop here. Those look like some great challahs. And let's join together. Anyone who wants to join in the motzi, you can unmute yourself, and we'll all do a big motzi on the count of 3. So anyone unmute yourself and we'll do a motzi. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Teavon, everyone. And now to get us ready for our interfaith gatherings on Sunday and later in the month at our Thanksgiving, Interfaith Thanksgiving service, we share a song that's very familiar. Wait, I live on Queens Boulevard. There are a lot of sirens. It should remind you of Temple, where at least one siren passes at every single service. So it's just like we're in the sanctuary. So this is a song that we often find in interfaith scenarios. You'll be hearing it a bunch this month, so join together. We're using the original lyrics, not the lyrics that might be the wording that we might choose to do in our sanctuary, but the one that is most commonly done among our neighbors.
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and chastens his will to make known the wicked oppressing now cease from distressing. Sing praises to his name, he forgets not his own. Beside us to guide us, our God, with us joining, ordaining, maintaining his kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Thou, Lord, were at our side, all glory be thine. We hold will do extol thee, thou leader in battle, and pray that thou still our defender will be. Let thy congregation escape tribulation, thy name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Jody, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hello, good night. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Hi, Marty. Hi, Marty. Hi, Karen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, wow. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Susan and Stanley.
Shabbat Shalom, Karen, Marty.
Yeah, good to see you. Shabbat Shalom, Bertie.
Shabbat Shalom, Karen and Marty.
Good to see you.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Shabbat
Hi,
Shalom.
Rob.
Thank you,
Shabbat shalom, Cantor.
Cantor. Beautiful voice tonight.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
Alexander
Shalom.
family.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Arlene.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Mildred Friedman. It's wonderful to see you as always.
Oh, Mildred, yes. Yeah, good to see
Shabbat
Mildred.
Shalom, Lillian.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shalom, Lillian.
Shabbat Shalom,
That's the
Susan
Bob.
Stanley.
See you tomorrow morning to our study.
Barbara and Arnold Gilbert. Shabbat
Hi, the Gilberts.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom,
Shalom,
Barbara
Gilbert.
and Arnold.
Hey, Roberta, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Doing it. I'm hanging in.
You're looking terrific.
Shabbat Shalom, Friedman.
I don't have a choice.
Pretty. And
Shabbat Shalom,
Barbara.
Cantor
And Pastor
Emily.
Good
Jack.
Captain Emily.
And Judy. And Jody. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
You too.
Shalom.